welcome back to another episode of East Coast Pro Wrestling here on Rogers, and it is our pleasure, or lack thereof, to be welcomed to this program by none other than the ECPW Heavyweight Champion, Lincoln Steen, who, of course, is scheduled for action, but appears to be not willing to wait. And it looks like the champion has something to say. As ECPW Commissioner and ring announcer John Patterson will hand on the microphone. Not a favorite of the fans here in New Waterford is champion Lincoln Steen.
The only thing I want to hear out of each and every one of you is to actually work together and give a good chant of Lincoln Steen.
I have a feeling the champion is not going to get the request he wants from these people.
The one thing I don't want to hear tonight, well, it's actually more than one thing, it's three things. I do not want to hear the letters D, D, T.
That is a reference to Cody Deaner.
No D, D, T. Actually, if there's one thing the champion can personally guarantee to all of you tonight, you are not going to see a single DDT. Because just like every other event since I won this championship belt, this event is going to end exactly the same. Lincoln Steen getting a 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring and holding this championship belt high once again.
He has been champion since last June at Coletown Carnage when he defeated Charlie Hubley for the ECPW title.
Lincoln Steen! Lincoln Steen!
A small smattering of support for the ECPW champion, but love him or hate him, you can't deny the success he's had in his long-time tenure here in East Coast Pro Wrestling, having held the Celtic Roots Championship as well, and of course finds himself atop ECPW. However, his title may be in jeopardy. Mr. DDT himself, the well-accomplished Cody Deaner, next in line to wrestle Lincoln Steen, and that may be his toughest task yet. That will be a tremendous heavyweight championship bout here at the New Waterford and District Community Center. You are watching East Coast Pro Wrestling on Rogers. Lincoln Steen, the heavyweight champion in ECPW, having some words with the ECPW faithful as he makes his way back to the dressing room, awaiting that championship match. We do have some great ECPW action lined up for you, including that title match. And the women of this company always laying it on the line. Lincoln Steen gracing us with his presence for some opening words this evening. Again, you're watching ECPW action on Rogers. And we are set to go with our first action of the evening.
This evening is co-sponsored by Chad Hilton Photography and Shane Wilkie Photography. Introducing first, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Joey White.
Joey White making his ECPW debut. The youngster's been wrestling for 3 years around the Maritimes. been a champion for almost a year on the mainland. Native of Halifax, well, not always guaranteed to get a great reception wrestling in Cape Breton Island, and don't know if Joey White seems to care. Well, he definitely doesn't seem to care about what kind of response he's going to get from these people here as he makes his debut at the New Waterford District and Community Center. Again, first look at this young man, and he's got quite a tall task ahead of him. Although we'll say he does look up for the task as he makes his ECPW debut. You are watching ECPW on Rogers. Joey White, the first competitor to make his way down the aisle this evening. Should be a tremendous matchup as we'll learn his opponent.
His opponent from Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Kid, Rudy Lockhart.
The Kid, Rudy Lockhart, making his way down to the ring area now. Eternally youthful he is, but what a name he's made for himself here in just a short period of time in ECPW, and certainly a moment no one will forget. Last year, when he went through a table in that four-way ladder match against Ethan Knight. And to show you what kind of competitor Rudy Lockhart is, he avenged that moment against Ethan Knight. He had a big win over Ethan Knight at Cold Town Carnage in May. And despite his young age, Rudy Lockhart has already wrestled around the world. He wrestled in 11 companies in his rookie year back in 2023. He's 22 here in June of 2025. He's accomplished a lot at ECPW as well. Also went over to Lincoln Steen in tag team action. He's very accomplished in just a short period of time and has really gained the approval of the fans as well. They love this guy. They love the Kid, Rudy Lockhart. This should be a tremendous matchup. A lot of youth on display on both sides, and a lot of speed and agility. And Joey White perhaps with the size advantage, but that has never been a factor to deter Rudy Lockhart, whether he was wrestling in ECPW or anywhere else in the world for that matter. Crowd very much behind Rudy Lockhart. I mentioned earlier that Joey White didn't seem like he was trying to gain the approval of these fans here in ECPW. Well, he may feel a little bit differently, and he finds himself playing the proverbial road game. As Rudy Lockhart and Joey White, first-time matchup for those of us in ECPW. As we are set to go with tonight's opening contest. Should be a great one. Both men circling the squared circle, sizing up their opponents. Great crowd on here in New Waterford, and Joey White perhaps patronizing, offering a test of strength, and Rudy kind of going to the drawing board here. And that was a very intelligent opening maneuver there from Rudy, just taking advantage of an open spot. Joey White leaving a leg open, and could take away one of the extremities. You have to do that. Good reversal. Lockhart has his man down. Flip for an early pinfall attempt. Wow, not even a minute into the match. And good ring awareness by Joey White to get up. And maybe a smart move there for Joey White. Remember, he's protected if he's in the ropes. Rudy Lockhart can't come after him. And Joey White perhaps a little bit shell-shocked and didn't see that counterattack coming from Rudy Lockhart. Both men get a chance to do the proverbial reset. Tie up in the middle of the ring. Back arm lock there by Rudy Lockhart. Nice counter by Joey White into a headlock in the middle of the ring. That's right where he wants him. Never a bad move to try to wear down your opponent. White set off the ropes. Across the ring goes. And big shoulder tackle. Size advantage. Another pinfall attempt and a 2 count. And nifty kick out there from Rudy Lockhart. Now he goes back to work on the arm. Another pin attempt. Both men going for it early. And another 2 count as either of these guys in the mood to get paid by the hour. And once again, Joey White not in a hurry to engage with his opponent, backing up into the ropes, using every piece of the ring to his advantage, I guess we can say. And once again, these two find themselves pacing around the exterior of the ring. Arm lock here by Rudy Lockhart. You can hear the fans chanting, Rudy, they love this guy. But reversal now, Joey White. Boy, these guys look like they've well scouted each other here. Joey White in the black. Rudy Lockhart in red. Height advantage, pardon me, there for Joey White, which he's utilizing to bring Lockhart down to his knees. If you can take away that vertical base of your opponent, that's always an advantage. Now going to work on the fingers there of Rudy Lockhart. Not a pretty sight. The fans here at the Waterford District Community Center. Nor is that particularly pleasant for Rudy Lockhart to be brought down to the mat by his arm. Trying to regain his footing here is Rudy Lockhart. Roll over and another one again. Trying to see if he can take down Joey White. White able to keep his balance and duck under there by Lockhart. Tries to use the ropes. And again, well scouted by both men. Duck of a clothesline. Oh, nice takedown there by Lockhart. Off the ropes. Leg drop right to the back. Boy, Joey White was trying to get up and he couldn't get up in time. Assault to the back, into the stomach. Pinfall attempt. Oh, he hooked the leg. Good cover there by Rudy Lockhart. Wasn't enough, but he's going for another one and a 2. And once again, a 2 count. Another pinfall attempt and a 2. Throwing up and down the shoulder. And is he pulling the shoulder up of Joey White? Maybe a little bit of mind games for Rudy Lockhart. Another pinfall attempt. 1 and 2. And this time he was going for the win. As Rudy Lockhart was continually pulling up the arm of Joey White. I think that was a bit of mind games, but sometimes you wear down your opponent by making him try to kick out. I think that's what Rudy Lockhart was trying to do there. Ultimately wasn't able to get the pinfall attempt, so now he's going to go up to the top rope. High-risk maneuver incoming. And Joey White gets out of the way. Lockhart able to get out of the way as well. He's met with a knee, though, in the middle of the ring, and a big overhead kick, followed by a powerful forearm, and the complexion of this match has changed in a hurry here. And Joey White, he's got to stop worrying about what the fans think. Taking time to bark at the audience. You got a really talented opponent in there. You want to finish the job and get a victory and not worry about the audience, whom have soured quickly on Joey White, although you can't deny, very impressive competitor, as Rudy Lockhart sees a couple of powerful kicks in the corner and now right to the face. Rudy Lockhart looking for a momentum change here. He finds himself trapped in the corner, whipped to the other side of the ring. Back to the center. Oh, powerful back suplex there. He might go for some rolling suplexes. That was one. Reestablishes his grip. Oh, another powerful suplex. Pinfall attempt. Oh, and a 2 count. This count's getting a little bit closer. Joey White a little bit frustrated that he has not yet been able to finish off the youngster, Rudy Lockhart. Suplex attempt is countered. Once again, Lockhart able to block. White maintains body positioning. Oh, spoke too soon. Reversal. And Rudy Lockhart flips him over for a back suplex, but both men feeling the effects. I'll tell you, I've been in the ring. There's not a lot of give to that canvas. Lockhart going down to the top rope. Looking perhaps for a big move that could finish this match off. Up on the top rope. I don't know if he lost his balance or he saw White getting up. White with the elbow to the face and a pinfall attempt, and it's a 2 count. Joey White, John with the official, saying it was 3, but it was very much a 2 count. Referee in great position as Rudy Lockhart in a bit of a world of hurt. Reaches up for the chop. As Joey White and Rudy Lockhart. Great opening match here. ECPW on Rogers. Punch right to the arm again. Never a bad play to try to work on an arm or a leg and try to take away now. The arm of Rudy Lockhart is Joey White. Powerful elbow, bringing his opponent down. Now pinfall attempt, perhaps. No, too soon. Going back to work on the arm. Yes. Has him in the center of the ring, right where he wants. Perhaps looking for a submission here, maybe. Twisting the arm. Rudy Lockhart, I can guarantee, is going to feel that one tomorrow. Yes. Joey White very much in control. Lockhart reaching out for the ropes, unable to get any sort of sustained grip. Now he's backed into the ropes and a powerful shot from Joey White. Rudy Lockhart in some big-time trouble now. As once again, Joey White going up and jawing with the crowd. Joey White may now have Rudy Lockhart where he wants him. Kick to the back of the head. That's not going to help the cause of Rudy Lockhart at all. Joey White now going back to the arm, putting it behind the back of Rudy Lockhart. Has him right in the middle of the ring as referee Jeremy Murray looks on. Bit of a reversal there for Rudy Lockhart. Perhaps he's turning the tide in this matchup. No, spoke too soon. Again, well scouted on the part of both wrestlers here this evening. Great crowd on hand here at the Waterford District Community Center. Watching great ECPW action. Tremendous opening contest Here, both of these guys getting a little bit dizzy and spun through the ropes. Is Joey White, pardon me, had a bit of a hard time getting his balance. Oh, suicide dive, and Joey White feeling that right into the gut. Rudy Lockhart now, perhaps with momentum on his side. Oh, another dive, and into the barricade, the back of Joey White. He's going to be seeing some bruises in the mirror tomorrow, I would say. Could it be a third dive for Rudy Lockhart? Oh, nobody home. And he crashes into the barrier. And that looked to be head first. And we may need personnel to check in on Rudy Lockhart. That was a very, very unpleasant landing, and that's why they call that a high-risk maneuver. Third dive going through the ropes. Joey White looking to capitalize. And Rudy Lockhart, he might be a little bit dead weight. As Joey White puts him into the ring, and this is a mistake here. He's jawing with the fans. He's got a prone opponent. He could just hit him right now and finish this match off. Now he's going to try to do just that. 2 and a kick out. Oh, what courage from Rudy Lockhart. I don't know where he gets it from. He's still in a lot of trouble, though, finding the rope. Trying to pull himself back up to that vertical base. Big chop by Joey White. And again, the turning point in this matchup may have been that third attempted dive by Rudy Lockhart as he's thrown into the barricade back first. And out front feeling the impact from the barricade, and now the back feeling the impact of that heavy throw into the turnbuckle. As the ECPW newcomer, Joey White, brings his man to the center of the ring, and a big kick to the back of the neck. Lockhart now struggling to get up, looking for refuge in the corner, perhaps. As White rips Lockhart into the ropes, he comes back and was trying to perhaps spear White, didn't get all of it. Credit to Rudy Lockhart for getting up at all, and another kick right to the head. Joey White bounces off the ropes and a counter kick into the midsection. Powerful overhead forearm by Rudy Lockhart. Trying to summon some strength here after he's taken a beating the last number of minutes. What a reversal for Lockhart. Punch to the head, another couple of punches. He's trying to ground Joey White. He's thrown, but he's able to maintain his balance. Chop as Rudy Lockhart just struggling to maintain his balance after the physical pain he's endured the last few minutes, but big punch to the head, off the ropes he goes, and another punch, sending Joey White into the ropes. Counter kick to the head. Seeing those long legs, powerful kicks of Joey White throughout the matchup. Perhaps looking for the finish here. Reversed into the ropes. Oh, back body drop. Rudy Lockhart high above the ring. Comes slamming down on his back. Pinfall attempt. 2, and just a 2 count. And Jeremy Murray, the referee, in great position there. Just a 2. And Joey White might be wondering what he's going to have to do to finish off this youngster, Rudy Lockhart. A crowd chanting Rudy, trying to get behind the young kid. Fans behind Rudy Lockhart. Joey White doesn't like that one bit. And Lockhart taken down. Now into the corner, Rudy Lockhart goes. Look, he might go up to the second rope now, instead throwing his weight into the solar plexus of Joey White. Then an overhead forearm. Perhaps momentum finally back on the side of the kid, Rudy Lockhart. Back into the corner. He's thrown outside the ring. Oh, and that's not where he wants to land at all. White trying to capitalize here. Oh, powerful clothesline. Lockhart pancakes into the ring. Pinfall attempt here. Perhaps this could be it. 1, 2, and a 2 count. I don't know how Rudy Lockhart knew where he was. Boy, again, what courage showed by Lockhart. But credit to both of these men putting on a tremendous opening bout, leaving it all on the line here. ECPW, that's what it's all about. As Lockhart trying to get back to his feet, a powerful chop from Joey White as he tells the fans, that's why I'm the best. I don't know if they agree, but he may well very be in position to pick up a victory here in this opening contest. Whips Lockhart across the ring, and again the back taking a beating. Another powerful blow into the head. White using all of his momentum, coming across the ring, and another powerful elbow. Boy, the noggin of Rudy Lockhart taking a beating in this matchup. White backing up again. Lockhart able to escape the corner. A spear throws White into the ropes. Off the ropes on the other side. Hurricane Rana middle of the ring, and Rudy Lockhart fired up. Crowd behind him now. Joey White standing up in a bit of a daze, but had enough wherewithal to give a big kick to the stomach. Off the ropes goes Lockhart. Sunset flip pinfall attempt. 1, 2. Oh, and a 2 count. Lockhart mustering every bit of energy he has. Now perhaps momentum on his side. Looks like he's telling the crowd he's going to try to finish this. Going up to the high red district here. What does he have planned? Or off the top rope. Oh, splash, but the pool is empty. And Lockhart feeling the impact. Smashing stomach and head first against the mat. Well, Joey White's still trying to get his bearings. What a tremendous match this has been. Reversal pinfall attempt. Roll up. Trying to change the positioning. Looked like he might be going for a half crab. White resisting, though. Kick to the head. Again, well prepared, both of these competitors are. It's like they studied the videotapes. Reversal for Lockhart. White able to grab the ropes, but it's not enough to prevent a roll over. 1, 2. Oh, 2 count. I'd love to get a tally on the amount of 2 counts both of these men have racked up this matchup. White has Lockhart prone. Oh, it's for an overhead kick. Missed. Lockhart grabs another pinfall attempt. Bulldog center of the ring. Is that going to be enough? Can he turn him over for a pinfall attempt? He wants to finish Joey White off. The fans want to see it as well. Maybe he's a little bit too far away, going to the top corner or the opposite corner. Crowd very much behind Rudy Lockhart here, though. Up to the top rope. Is he going to go for that splash again? Missed it the first time. Oh, he doesn't miss this time. Headbutt on to Joey White. 1, 2, and a 3 count. What a victory for Rudy Lockhart. A very, very hard-fought opening contest here on ECPW on Rogers from the New Waterford District Community Center, and yet an impressive notch, another impressive notch in the young career here in ECPW, catching the eyes of the championship committee, no doubt. The kid, Rudy Lockhart, getting his hand raised by referee Jeremy Murray in victory, a well-earned one, and I have to say, the story is the kid, Rudy Lockhart, but in defeat, a very impressive debut for Joey White. And while I didn't necessarily agree with his demeanor, look forward to seeing more of him in ECPW as well. Looks like Rudy Lockhart may have something to say as he's talking to the ECPW owner there, Sheldon McLean. It looks like we're going to get to hear from the victor following a big victory for him. Hey, great win for him. Why not give him a chance to talk?
Conspicuous by his absence tonight is Ethan Knight.
Referencing the man that put him through a table last fall.
Ever since last October, Ethan Knight decided to take this professional relationship and turn it into something personal. Not only on one occasion, but 2 occasions, trying to take my career from me. And you know what? He's been suspended for his actions, but not fired. He'll be back. But Ethan, when you're back, I want you to know that I'll be right here in the middle of the ring in New Waterford waiting for you.
Oh boy, I love to see that match. These fans would as well.
For your actions. Because at the end of the day, Rudy can fail.
Spirited words from Rudy Lockhart calling out Ethan Knight. He would love retribution for when he was driven through that table last fall. We haven't forgotten, nor has Rudy Lockhart. In the meantime, he celebrates a big victory here with these fans at the New Waterford District Community Center. Tremendous opening contest sees Rudy Lockhart pick up the win over Joey White on ECPW on Rogers.
And they wanted it, they wanted our property, and they took it. As simple as that.
It was a community, a tight-knit community.
Our independence. They took it from us. And City Halifax owes us big time. Big time.
You got to look at where did the city of Halifax put those people of Africville that they had to move? They put us in an area, Halifax, that they deemed to be low income, the blight of Halifax.
They're waiting for us all to die.
My brother Terry, God rest his soul, he was shot in Uniacke Square, where they put us.
I never got in no trouble when I was in Africville. Got in the city trouble. Jail, drug addict, you know. We had none of that in Africville.
Another great contest here on Rogers TV. ECPW Action. John Patterson, tell us all about it.
Introducing first, from the Canadian wasteland, Thad Howitt.
Thad Howitt making his way down the aisle here at the New Waterford District Community Center. And this is a gentleman we've become well acquainted with. Wrestling for over 10 years now. First ECPW appearance coming back in 2021, and he has picked up some big victories in his time in ECPW. Wins over the likes of Andre Mayat and Jonathan Cross. And of course, has had success elsewhere in the professional wrestling ranks. The current New Breed heavyweight champion. He's held that title for over 200 days. Mentioned that win over Andre Mayat. Very rare solo loss for Andre Mayat. And in addition to being the New Breed heavyweight champion, he was the finalist in the New Breed wrestling tournament back in 2023. He's also wrestled at the Loot Academy in Montreal back in 2023. He was victorious in tag team action there as well. But of course, in ECPW, we know him primarily as a singles competitor. And he's had a lot of success in that regard.
From Halifax, Nova Scotia, Ryan Schimmel.
Well, in some corners, they might call it the meat match. Two big gentlemen going at it, what should be a tremendous heavyweight encounter. Ryan Schimmel makes his way to the ring. Made his ECPW debut against Matt Connors, picking up a win on Autumn Aggression back in 2024, and he's someone who wasted no time winning the approval of the ECPW faithful. Was voted the newcomer of the year at ECPW back in 2024. Great athlete, played football, and has made the transition to the professional wrestling ranks. Great videographer as well, I've been told. First year wrestling around the Maritimes 2024, and he's looking to make a big impact in 2025. He's got his work cut out for him here against Thad Howitt. I mentioned maybe not necessarily the two biggest guys you'll see, but two of the most powerful. So certainly looking forward to see how they match up against each other. As Ryan Schimmel, I mentioned, already a favorite of the fans at ECPW. They've seen a little bit of him, and they want to see a lot more. They're going to get a big-time opportunity here in what should be an outstanding matchup as Schimmel gets ready to go down and battle Thad Howitt. Jeremy Murray, the referee in charge. Nice fresh face to the officiating scene here at ECPW, doing a great job. And I'd like to have his hands full here with an encounter between two powerful wrestlers. Look forward to this one. As we're at the New Waterford District Community Center here in New Waterford. You're watching ECPW on Rogers. Mentioned referee Jeremy Murray checking both opponents for weapons. And after he deems both men clean, we're good to go. And we're off and running here with what should be an outstanding matchup. Be very interesting to see if either man tries to assert a power advantage over the other. Lock up in the middle of the ring. Schimmel taken down to one knee. Not going to read too much into that. As Howitt down to a knee as well. Very, very small advantage to Howitt perhaps in the early going. Vertical base established by both men though. I think both men agree. Stalemate. Let's unlock up and try that again. Crowd behind Ryan Schimmel. As he sizes up Thad Howard. Again, two men who no stranger to the power game in professional wrestling. As Schimmel, front face lock there in the middle of the ring. Trying to wear down Thad Howard in the early going in this contest. There's a shoulder right to the stomach. As Howard takes Schimmel down. Thad Howard, as I mentioned, the more experienced of the two competitors. Over 10 years in the pro wrestling ranks. A fixture in ECPW the last number of years. As trying to put Schimmel down with a headlock there in the middle of the ring. Schimmel reverses. Now trying to establish dominance over Thad Howard. A couple of punches there to the midsection by Thad Howard on Ryan Schimmel. Throws him into the ropes. Whipped off the ropes. Shoulder tackle, nothing doing there. Thad Howard says, no, sir. Schimmel says, hey, you think you're strong? I gotta say, I'm enjoying watching these guys lock up and almost enjoying the banter between them just as much. Shoulder tackle. Again, neither guy's gonna back down. Ryan Schimmel says, you think you're strong? And Thad Howard says, yes, I do. But Ryan Schimmel, very strong individual in his own right. Off the rope, Schimmel goes. Shoulder tackle. Thad Howard says, is that all you got? Schimmel going back to the drawing board. Doesn't seem phased, though, with the task of taking on the more experienced Thad Howard. Ryan Schimmel not lacking with confidence. Again, he's very popular with ECPW fans. And now it's your turn, and once again, well, this time it's Thad Howard putting the shoulder into Ryan Schimmel, and Schimmel said, hey, take your best shot. I could take it. Boy, I'll tell you something. Watching these guys whip off the ropes and give each other these tackles, normal men would not react the same way these two are. I'll tell you what, you put me in the ring and taking one of those tackles, I'd be flying into the fourth seat of the arena, but these guys are taking every bit of the punishment. There's another tackle this time. Howard down to the mat. Another shoulder tackle successfully grounding, although Howard quick to get back up. Oh, another shoulder tackle. And perhaps Ryan Schimmel has unlocked the door to success here. As Thad Howard into the corner, trying to escape. Counter may have raked the eyes there. As reversal by Schimmel. Looked like he was trying to get him into a full Nelson. Not an easy task. On the thick arms there of Thad Howard. Match returns to the center of the ring. He's whipped into the ropes is Schimmel, off the ropes. And once again, stalemate. Although I think Schimmel might have got the worst of that when he backs off into the corner. I know he's not going to back down, that's for sure. A few punches there into the solar plexus of Thad Howard. Ripped into the corner. Schimmel comes back in a reversal and a kick to the high part of the upper body. Might have got him in the neck. Duck of a clothesline there by Schimmel. Oh, and another duck sends Thad Howard into the turnbuckle. Thad Howard reeling. Oh, and a shoulder right to the head of Thad Howard, who finds himself in some trouble here. Schimmel trying to pull Howard off the ropes. Does just that. Oh, and he brings him down to the mat. It'll be our first pinfall attempt of the matchup. Center of the ring and a 2 count for Ryan Schimmel. Jeremy Murray in position for the pinfall attempt. Set first one of the match. Schimmel contemplating what else he's going to have to do to beat the big Thad Howard. Brings him back up to his feet. Counter. Shoulder to the head. Looks like he's going for a suplex. Does just that. You hear Schimmel crash into the mat. Suplexes will take a toll on the back every time. Schimmel now trying to roll towards the ropes. And no escape in the squared circle from bad Thad Howard. Good work there by the official, Jeremy Murray. As Howard has a 5 count in the ropes, pulling the hair as well. And I know it's easier said than done, but Jeremy Murray's got to get in between these two big guys. Big chop sends Schimmel to the mat. You know, Schimmel in the ropes in a bad way. As powerful chop there by Howard. As Schimmel goes into the ropes. And he's in the corner, trying to escape, but easier said than done. Good counter, though. punches into the stomach there of Thad Howard. And a chop! Howard feeling the effects of that. Neckbreaker takeover as Schimmel to the back of the head. Now Thad Howard finds himself in a world of hurt in the middle of the ring. Kick right to the back of Howard there by Schimmel. Schimmel splash to the back of Howard. Contemplating whether he wants to roll him over. Pinfall attempt. 1 and a 2. And a bit too close to the ropes. Thad Howard is, when he rolled him over, he got a little bit closer to the rope. And that was actually great ring awareness by Howard to realize he had access to the ropes and then proceeds to roll out of the ring to try to change the momentum here. Howard's taking a breather. He's not in a hurry to get back there in the ring and engage. Jeremy Murray gets to 2 in the 10 count. As Schimmel perhaps looking for a breather as well. This has been a hard-hitting contest. Both of these men have taken a lot out of each other. But certainly the momentum on the side of Ryan Schimmel. Bad Thad Howard is being invited back into the ring. Ryan Schimmel being the gentleman, offering his opponent free passage back into the ring, and Howard will make his way back. Another test of strength here in the middle of the ring. Schimmel looks to have the early advantage. Oh, and a headbutt right to the shoulder of Ryan Schimmel, then a knee to the gut. Powerful forearm to the back there by Thad Howard. Just like that, the direction of this match has changed as Schimmel finds himself in the corner. Now tries to whip him across the ring. Countered by Schimmel. Oh, and a spinning elbow into the stomach. Schimmel using the ropes for momentum. A big knee to the head of Thad Howard, who rolls over in pain. I don't know if he knows where he is. He's still in the ring, but barely. Crowd getting behind Ryan Schimmel now. Schimmel. Power slam. Oh, what a slam it was. Right in the middle of the ring. Thought he might go for a cover, but I think he lost his sense there for a second. Probably took a bit of energy out of him as well. Impressive slam nonetheless. Schimmel now pulling Thad Howard up. What does he have in mind next? Schimmel a few slaps there to the midsection. There's a powerful forearm to the head. Another one. Big blows taking down Schimmel. Kicks right to the upper body, lower and lower into the stomach. Ryan Schimmel finding himself in some pain. He's down on the mat. Yes. Up goes Schimmel. Oh, and a powerful clothesline. Brings down Thad Howard. Now Schimmel pounding the mat. Maybe wanted to get the crowd behind him here. Got some momentum. Trying to take home a big victory. You can hear Schimmel trying to psych himself up. Crowd behind Ryan Schimmel. Mentioned he was voted newcomer of the year last year. Fans love this guy, but they don't love that as he's backed into the corner there by Thad Howard. Bad Thad Howard, ECPW veteran, is chopped out of the mat and accidental there by Schimmel. Oh, another one to the upper body. Resilient Thad Howard getting up. Maybe you wish he has it. Oh, look at this. What a display of strength by Schimmel, but it's countered. First DDT, perhaps that's countered as well. Great preparation from both of these men. As Howard was pushed to the back, Schimmel trying to find that second wind here. Forearm to the back here of Thad Howard. Schimmel now will give a clothesline to the neck of Thad Howard. Belly to back suplex perhaps. Oh, what a suplex it was. Pinfall attempt right in the middle of the ring. Oh, 2, almost 3. What a display of power by Ryan Schimmel. What a matchup this has been. These guys are throwing everything at each other. As Schimmel wondering what he has to do to defeat Thad Howard. Pulling his opponent up again, center in the ring. That's where he wants him. We saw that earlier in the matchup when Schimmel thought he had Howitt, but he was too close to the ropes. Oh, and he went low. And a veteran move. I don't condone it, but Howitt knew that he was out of the sight line of referee Jeremy Murray and able to use some nefarious means there to get an upper hand. Body slam, and now Schimmel feeling it in every part of his body. Another powerful slam by Howitt. Schimmel finds himself in trouble now. Another powerful body slam there by Thad Howitt. Pinfall attempt. 1-2 using the ropes for leverage. And a 3 count. Thad Howitt with his feet on the ropes. And I think that Ryan Schimmel saw that. He's pointing to the ropes. But again, it was out of the line of sight of the referee, Jeremy Murray. He's only one man in there. And Thad Howitt has shown before he's not above bending the rules. And it's unfortunate because it's a bit of a black mark on what was an exceptional contest. But regardless, Schimmel's arguments will be in vain. And the record book will tell you that Thad Howitt picked up a big victory here over Ryan Schimmel, who's understandably frustrated as he stomps his way out of the ring. Fans are not happy with that at all. Great showing of respect. Schimmel still clapping hands with the admiring fans, but tough loss for him. Big victory for Thad Howitt. You're watching ECPW on Rogers. More great action coming up here on ECPW on Rogers.
Is sponsored by SOB Security.
Tom Patterson will tell us all about it. Coming down the aisle momentarily, though, somebody that maybe the ECPW fans have not proven to be fond of over the years.
Have the no class for you. Upper class.
FKA making his way down the aisle, taking his time doing so. Began wrestling in 2017, made his ECPW debut back in 2019, and boy, working color commentary alongside me, and he should stick to wrestling based on those experiences. But FKA, not a favorite on commentary or in the ring, but can't deny his talent.
Turn that crap off right now. That's not my theme song. New Waterford. FKA is in your vicinity. And this right here, this is my good buddy Seppi. And he's here to take care of a problem for me tonight. Now, would you like to know what that problem is? It's old school laundry Mariette. Your favorite, everyone give it up for old school laundry Mariette.
Andre Man, popular with the fans here in New Waterford.
See, me and Andre have been up and down these roads all across Nova Scotia, and he has beaten me. But what Sebby's here to do is that my lane. That's right. And not only am I going to beat him, but I am going to end his career and ruin all of your happiness.
Well, I question that.
And when it's all said and done, FKA, we're sorry, we.
I think the fans had heard enough. A welcome interruption. As making his way to the ring now, much to the confusion of FKA, is Andre Mayex. Talk about a guy who's popular here at ECPW. Been wrestling since 2008, and I know a lot of people were excited with his first appearance in 2025 in ECPW coming tonight. Let's see what he has to say. Jazenko coming out to assist Andre Mayette. And as Andre Mayette said, that's pretty popular with the fans here. Jazenko making his ECPW debut in the Sam McLean Memorial Rumble, where he eliminated FKA. Made his pro wrestling debut over in England at American Super Slam Wrestling. And of course, native of Cape Breton Island, fans love getting to see him wrestle here in his home region. As you hear them applaud, Jazenko coming down the aisle. Rick Jazenko, a favorite, in quick fashion. Looks like some quality backup indeed for Andre Mayette. As we heard FKA talking about his rivalry with Andre Mayette. And again, we mentioned he's got a bit of a score with Jazenko as well, based on how the Sam McLean Memorial Rumble went down earlier in the spring. FKA and Andre Mayette. We talk about Jazenko being a newcomer, but FKA and Mayette are staples in the ECPW world. So a mix of youth and experience out there in the ring. Emily Parker getting ready to officiate some great ECPW action here. Jazenko and Mayette in one corner, and the other FKA and Sebi. Sebi making his first ECPW appearance. Debuted on the wrestling maritime scene back in 2023. Going to be our first look at him here. Old school Andre Mayette shaking hands with Sebi. Sebi seems somewhat enamored with Andre Mayette. His partner FKA is not too happy with that fact. Hey, if you're Sebi, you're soaking it in. It's your first ECPW experience. He meets a star like Andre Mayette. He's excited to meet him, I guess. So Mayette and FKA are going to get this thing started. As FKA began wrestling in 2017. Was the UCW Atlantic Canadian champion back in 2021. Also wrestled Limitless Wrestling back in Maine. Hadn't appeared in ECPW until the before-mentioned Rumble, after having wrestled at 2024 Coaltown Carnage. So FKA and Andre Mayette getting us started. FKA thrown into the turnbuckle. And again on the opposite side of the ring, old school Andre Mayette. And the crowd fired up here in a hurry. Spinning FKA around. Oh, head into the turnbuckle. FKA in a world of hurt. He's in the opposite corner. That's not where he wants to be. Mayette rolling towards his corner. It's okay for him to be there. He just wants to keep FKA away from his own partner, Sebi. Pinfall attempt. Again, Emily Parker in position. 2 count. FKA trying to get his balance there in the middle of the ring. Andre Mayette ringing the arm there of FKA. Up to the top rope goes Andre Mayette. As doing the old school is old school. And a chop to the arm. Old school Andre Mayette. Makes the tag to Cape Breton's own Rick Jazenko. Jazenko off the single rope and axe handle. And boy, Both Chizenko and Mayet going to work on that arm of FKA. Not a bad strategy. Take away one of the limbs. Chizenko there getting a shot. Good quick tags there. Mayet and Chizenko teaming up like old chums, despite it being their first time together in the ring. There's an axe handle, and once again going to work on the arm of FKA. Great story, Andre Mayet, kind of turning over a new leaf a few years ago, decided to do things the right way, and boy, he's had a lot of success doing just that. Pinfall attempt here, one, and just a one count. FKA with good ring awareness there. As Mayet tagged to Chizenko again. Good quick tags, keeping FKA in that part of the ring, but a rake to the eye and a tag out to Sebi. Sebi, first appearance in the matchup, he's taken down by Mayet and Chizenko, and Mayet throws Chizenko into Sebi. Pinfall attempted, 2 count. It's Chizenko looking for a pinfall victory. Of course, that'd be his first here in ECPW. Sebi using the ropes to his advantage there as he's resisting being thrown across the ring. Kick to the stomach there by Chizenko. Going to bring Sebi up for a suplex, perhaps. Down he goes. Chizenko, a favorite here of the fans at his home island of Cape Breton. The island of Chizenko, he calls it. Clothesline keeps Sebi hemmed into the corner. Another big clothesline there by Chizenko. Chizenko wipes out FKA. Maybe caused a bit of a distraction there. Sebi now trying to take down Chizenko, and he does just that in the middle of the ring. And our first look at Sebi here in ECPW. He makes the tag to FKA coming into the ring now. Sebi taking advantage of that count from Emily Parker. And now this time, we saw this earlier by the opposing team. This time it's FKA being thrown by Sebi into Chizenko in a 2 count. FKA, another poke to the eye. Boy, he loves to do that, doesn't he? Now Emily Parker's distracted, allowing for a double team here in the corner. I never envy an official like Emily Parker trying to keep track of all this action. And once again, referee distracted, allowing for a double team at Chizenko in the corner. Once Emily Parker gets wise to that, she makes her way across the ring, tells him to cut it out. Sebi tagged into the matchup here. Trying to line up Chizenko with a powerful chop. He does just that. Well, his hand's feeling the effect of that one. As Sebi a slap to the face of Chizenko. Near the fans chanting for Chizenko, and any respect that Sebi had for Andre Mayet going out the window just there with the handshake and the pullback, and now back to Chizenko on the other side of the ring. Couple of short clotheslines there into the throat. Snapmare takeover. Chizenko finding himself in a bad way here. Big elbow drop by Sebi. Pinfall attempt at a 1 and a 2. And a kick out. And Sebi may have been horsing around earlier, showing some respect to Andre Mayet, but he's quickly proving he's forced to be taken seriously here in the middle of the ring. Throws Chizenko into the ropes. Sebi gathering speed, coming off the ropes. Oh, and he throws the weight of his body onto Chizenko. Emily Parker having to pull Sebi off the ropes here. Yes. FKA getting in his licks and a cheap shot there. He's never been one shy about bending the rules. Now he's pleading his innocence with Emily Parker, who I suspect is a little suspicious. Oh, nobody home! Chizenko gets out of the way. Now he's trying to find his way to the other side of the ring. He sees his partner, Andre Mayet, but can he get to him to make that big tag? Backs in, tag made. Line tag, don't know if Sebi saw it. Roll up attempt by Chizenko. Puts Sebi in position to be hammered by Andre Mayet. Mayet back elbow to Sebi. Fresh man coming in when it was needed most for Mayet and Chizenko. Mayet now lifting up Sebi. Sebi tried to counter. Oh, neckbreaker there by Andre Mayet. Pinfall attempt perhaps middle of the ring. 1, 2, and just a 2 count. Boy, great resilience by Sebi, like him or not. to kick out of an impact maneuver like that. Chizenko slapping the turnbuckle, seeing if he can get the crowd behind him and his teammate Andre Mayette. Chizenko, the young rookie, popular Cape Bretonneux in his homeland, and Andre Mayette, the popular veteran. Two ECPW crowd favorites, no doubt about that. The old school Andre Mayette, but he's taken down by FKA, who was lurking outside the ring, and Chizenko coming across, telling him that's not going to be tolerated. Now we've got action inside and outside the ring. Tough to keep track. I only have one set of eyes, folks. I certainly relate to Emily Parker, trying to keep track of everything going on in this matchup. Back into the ring we go. Sebi teams with FKA, gives him a tag. FKA, pinfall attempt. Nope, he's going to put a front face lock on Mayette. Asking Chizenko how he likes his teammate, Andre Mayette. Mayette grounded for the time being by FKA. Couple of elbows. The solar plexus there of FKA wasn't enough to break. It did, but then FKA was able to regain the advantage. And another poke to the face there of Chizenko. Prodding the bear is FKA. FKA whipped into the ropes there by Mayette. Big kick to the arm and a knee to the face by FKA. As FKA neckbreaker, middle of the ring. Pinfall attempt could be it. 1 and a 2. Now FKA perhaps trying to hook. Perhaps should have hooked the leg. Pardon me. Mayette finding himself in some trouble, and FKA cheap shot to Chizenko. That's one way to get rid of a tag option, I suppose. But his partner's still standing, so FKA goes over to tag Sebi. Sebi into the matchup now. And his ECPW debut, he'd love to pick up a victory, perhaps going for a fireman's carry takeover. He's got Mayette up. Mayette trying to resist. Couple of elbows to the head. As Mayette, 2 punches to the face, another punch to the face. Down goes Sebi. Maybe I spoke too soon. He's doing everything he can to keep a vertical base. Oh, down he goes, Sebi. A delayed fall makes it all the more painful, perhaps. That move took a bit of an impact on Andre Mayette as well, and now both men are down. And it's both facing their respective partners, but who's going to have the ring awareness to get up and make a tag first? That might end up being the deciding factor in this tag team match we're watching. But a great one. Rick Chizenko and Andre Mayette. Mayette in the ring currently against Sebi, who's in the ring. Looking to tag his partner FKA. Look at both men make tags. Fresh matchup here. We come back to Chizenko and FKA. Chizenko clothesline on both of his opponents. And another clothesline brings down FKA. Chizenko, a house of fire in there. Chizenko lines up FKA. Crossbody into the corner. Oh, there's another one for Sebi. And another one for FKA. Chizenko can't be stopped. Another crossbody. Whoops. Sebi right into FKA. And Sebi in a world of hurt here in the middle of the ring. Down he goes! Chizenko sizing up his opponent. Oh, down goes FKA! And that was not so pleasant for Sebi, I can tell you that. It's Chizenko lining up. FKA perhaps looking to finish this matchup. Brings him up. He was going to go for a body slam. He might be going for a full-on power slam. That's exactly what he's going to do. Pinfall attempt, middle of the ring. 1, 2, and a 3 count. How about that? And the rookie Chizenko picks up the pinfall in tag team action, his first pinfall victory in his young ECPW career. The Cape Breton native winning the approval of the fans here. What a special night for him, and what a nice return for Andre Mayette, his first ECPW appearance in the year 2025. And I'll tell you, these two made a pretty good team. They were challenged, no doubt about that, by Sebi and FKA, but ultimately, fans in New Waterford quite happy to see this duo have some success tonight. Chizenko and Andre Mayette pick up the victory. Great tag team action. What a tag team bout it was. Again, Andre Matt's first appearance here at ECPW in 2025. Great to have him back, and fans are definitely happy to see Chizenko make a name for himself at his home island. His first traditional match, I guess we can call it, following his appearance in the Rumble. And how about that? As Sebi shows his respect to Chizenko. Classy gesture that perhaps FKA could learn from his tag team partner. As Chizenko slapping the hands of those who've, well, in many cases, watched him grow up here. Big win for him and Andre Mayette. You're watching ECPW on Rogers.
Clearing out your garage, basement, or shed? Or maybe you're doing some spring cleaning?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
I got this.
I think it's time to call in the professionals, don't you?
I have this.
Ready to give up?
Yeah. I give
Hello!
up.
Now get that garbage out of here! Oakley & Son, locally family owned and operated since 2017. They do the hard work so you don't have to. With rates starting as low as $50. Make the right play and call Oakley & Son and get that garbage out of here!
More great singles action coming up here. ECPW on Rogers.
Sponsored by Busy Bee Mini Bar. Introducing first from Halifax, Nova Scotia. He is the king of maritime wrestling. J.P. Sims.
And the self-proclaimed king of maritime wrestling begins to make his way down the aisle. A veteran in maritime wrestling circles, although haven't seen as much of him in ECPW. Has become a fixture the last number of years, though. Began wrestling back in 2008, did J.P. Sims, and was actually victorious, teaming with Vanessa Craven against Ronnie Payne and Robbie McAllister back in May. And he is a former Celtic Roots champion in ECPW. Lost that title in that famous four-way ladder match back at Autumn Aggression. Had successful title defenses against Thad Howitt and Jody Threat before he lost the title. Of course, he wasn't above retaining his title by disqualification on a number of occasions as well. Former IHW champion in New Brunswick is getting a less than pleasant response from the fans here. But if you know anything about J.P. Sims and that silly crown that he wears, well, it's probably not going to surprise you. And tonight he's facing someone he's very familiar with. This should be a tremendous matchup, as you can see. Emily Parker, referee in charge, as J.P. Sims not in a hurry to get into the ring, as he seemingly enjoying taunting the people here at the Waterford District Community Center. Not sure if that youngster's a fan of J.P. or if he's mocking him. Regardless, J.P. Sims none too happy to see those impersonating him in the crowd. And J.P. Sims, maritime wrestling veteran, has become more of a staple in ECPW the last few years and has had championship success. And of course, big singles match here would be an opportunity for him to climb the ranks. So competitive these days here at ECPW, the Heavyweight Championship, Celtic Roots Championship that, of course, J.P. Sims used to hold. Both highly coveted prizes. You've got to earn your way up the ranks to get a shot at one of those titles. J.P. Sims will have a challenge on his hands tonight. He never stops jawing with the audience, now asking for their approval. Well, I'm not sure how that's going to go. Nonetheless, regardless of what you think about him, very talented in-ring competitor, is the self-professed king. And calling it referee Emily Parker over, and he's not exerting any extra energy getting into the ring, so Emily Parker doing his bidding, I guess we can say. As the response he gets is a predictable one from these fans who've grown tired of his antics, but I do think respect the in-ring skills he has.
From the Crossroads,
young man who's making waves in ECPW. Made his debut in 2022 and actually challenged for the Celtic Roots title against Lincoln Steen last summer. Was unsuccessful, but a wrestler as talented as Cross, you know that success is coming. He's been a DIY champion in Halifax for over 200 days. Also had a tremendous contest against Justin Newhook in May for the Celtic Roots title. And was also the winner of the inaugural Sam McLean Memorial Battle Royal. He's had success in tag team action as well. But perhaps you could say JP Sims has been his kryptonite, having been defeated by Sims in a ladder match. But he's hoping for a different outcome tonight. And you know he's going to have the support of the people that have really, really warmed up to Jonathan Cross, who's making his way here in ECPW. Again, a very talented young man. And one who is much better received by the audience here in New Waterford. No doubt about that. He's fired up to be wrestling here in Cape Breton. And wrestling in East Coast Pro Wrestling on Rogers TV as he makes his way into the ring. Again, Emily Parker is your official for this matchup. JP Sims in the black. And Jonathan Cross, who's making his way to the turnbuckle on the outside of the ring. He is in white. And this should be an outstanding matchup as we've seen from these two competitors before. Cross hoping he's learned lessons from the prior encounters with Sims, and that tonight perhaps could be a different outcome. It would certainly be a landmark victory for Jonathan Cross if he could score a win over JP Sims. Regardless who wins, who gets their hand raised, this should be an outstanding matchup as we are ready to go as Sims bids farewell to his little crown that he's wearing over his head. He really wants to let the people know that, well, at least he thinks he's the king. Great crowd on hand here for ECPW action. Big time matchup here between these two competitors. JP Sims making his way to the second rope and getting, as I said before, exactly the type of reception you'd expect he would get from these fans. Emily Parker will check both wrestlers here, and then we'll be off and running with, again, it should be a tremendous matchup. And I mentioned earlier, Sims not in a hurry to engage, and just as we hear the bell, he goes outside the ring, and he's got a vendetta against fans with crowns. That's the second one. But look at this. JP Sims, he's been outsmarted. That young man, as soon as Sims took his crown away, he put another one on his head. I don't know if JP noticed. Not in a good mood anyway, based on how he's going around the ring, barking at all the people in the audience. He's probably going to go back to that youngster and give him another talking to. He should probably worry about Jonathan Cross. That's a really, really strong competitor he's matched up against. Look at this, Emily Parker having to administer the 10 count before we've even had contact between the two men. And I know that she knows these fans want to see a great match, but JP Sims is not going to engage. He could potentially get counted out before we even get started. And he does break the count, perhaps trying to catch Cross by surprise, and he does just that. Little overhead forearms, so patience a virtue, I guess. You might not like it, but an effective tactic there for JP Sims to begin this matchup as he throws Cross in and tells the fans to be quiet. I think he knows, or he has to know, he is not going to be the favorite. It's a road game, as it usually is for JP Sims, based on the crowd reaction at least. Another measured left hand in the corner. Cross kind of struggling here to maintain a vertical base early in the matchup. JP Sims, self-professed king of maritime wrestling, going to work on the arm. Never a bad strategy. He will whip Cross across, but it's reversed, and sneaking out of the ring again is JP Sims. But how about this? Cross this time was ready for it. He saw Sims was going to try to walk around the ring and sneak behind, and this time Cross, he learned from earlier in the matchup. Throws Sims back into the ring. Now it is JP Sims that finds himself on the defensive. Cross whips Sims across. Oh, back body drop, an awkward landing. He's feeling that one. Felt the brunt of it on his back and his legs. As retreating into the corner. There's a big overhead blow. A couple of them there by Jonathan Cross. And a heavy chop into J.P. Sims, who's in a world of hurt in the corner. Crowd showing their appreciation here for Cross. You can hear them counting. 1, 2, 3. Where's it going to end? 10 big blows. He's going to give a bonus 11th, it looks like. Might have been the most impactful of all. As Cross lining up J.P. Sims. High above his head. Oh, down to that he goes. Pinfall attempt perhaps. Middle of the ring. 1, 2. Strong cover there by Cross. Had him in the middle of the ring. Hooked the leg, but I guess maybe too early in the matchup to get J.P. Sims. But what an effort thus far for young Jonathan Cross here. Against the more experienced opponent. Going back to the center of the ring and snap suplex. Looked like he might try a second, but I think it took a little bit more wind out of him than he thought. But he's back up for number 2. And perhaps a trio of rolling suplexes for Jonathan Cross. There it is. Into a pinning combination. 1 and a 2. Oh boy. He's pushing J.P. Sims. Had a bit of a harder time kicking out that time, did J.P. Sims. Cross going into the corner. Rolling Sims in. A couple of kicks to the stomach. Cross now in control, it seems, going up to the second rope. I don't know if you realize Sims starting to make his way back up as well. Oh, and he's pushed into the ropes as Cross. Pushed down onto the ropes, I should say. He's in a world of pain. He's hung up now in the corner. Cross measuring his opponent, or Sims measuring Cross, I should say, and a drop kick into the stomach. And just like that, the tide has turned in this matchup. Axe handle to the gut. Pinfall attempt, a 2 count, hooked the leg. Not enough. He's going to go for it again, though, it looks like. Or he's going to go for a slingshot here, perhaps. Now he's lining up the midsection, and then a big kick into the stomach. Feeling every bit of that was Jonathan Cross. As J.P. Sims seemingly in control of the matchup now. As another kick to the stomach by Sims. I'm not sure what he was saying to the referee, Emily Parker. Didn't seem happy, but there's an elbow into the back. Pinfall attempt again. Center of the ring. And great ring awareness there by Cross to kick out. Sims again. He's got his focus on the task at hand. Very capable opponent he's wrestling here, but for some reason he's jawing to the crowd. Now Cross sent into the ropes. And again, Emily Parker, great job officiating there. Getting right on top of Sims, telling him you got a 5 count. You got a break. Cross in a world of hurt. Sims looks back towards his opponent. The wheels are turning. What does he have in mind here? Off the ropes he goes, and putting all of his weight onto the back. Jonathan Cross. Sims has Cross in the middle of the ring. There's a big-time leg drop. Pinfall attempt here. 1, 2, and J.P. Sims now getting frustrated that he hasn't been able to finish his very valiant adversary here, Jonathan Cross. As Cross now looks to lift up. Sims rather looks to lift up Cross. Reversal. Down to the mat goes J.P. Sims. Pinfall attempt. 1 and a 2. Oh, 2.5. Ishinoku driving there almost enough to finish off J.P. Sims. Cross now rallying this crowd behind him. Cross tries to line up Sims. Oh, nobody home. Pool was empty, and he's feeling the brunt of that. Neck breaker by J.P. Sims. Now he's going to try to seize the moment. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2. Oh, and just barely. Jonathan Cross just barely kicking out. J.P. Sims. Front face lock here. Not a bad strategy. You slow the match down and continue to wear your opponent out here. Have him right in the middle of the ring. You can take a lot of energy out of him, man, by just grounding him. Keeping him off of his feet. That's what J.P. Sims is trying to do here. Now using his weight again, slamming it against the mat. That's just going to be more impact that Cross is feeling. Cross, though, trying to get the crowd behind him. He knows this is a big matchup. He would love to solve the riddle in his career that is JP Sims. As Cross partially making his way, trying to establish that vertical base we were talking about earlier. To his feet he goes. Elbow drop, not enough to break. Second's not enough a break. Third time the charm. Well, not quite. Yeah, that's going to do it, though, for Cross. He manages to break himself free. Duck of a clothesline. An inverted DDT, perhaps. Pitfall attempt. No. I think maybe the move took a little bit too much out of Cross. Now he's going to go for the pin. 1 and a 2. Oh, and great ring awareness there by Sims. And you see the delay in making the cover. The move took a little bit out of Cross, so he didn't quite cover Sims right away. And Sims knew where he was in the ring, so he was able to get the foot on the rope. Jonathan Cross is in a bit of disbelief. He's saying, I had a 3 count, which he did, but Sims did get his foot on the rope prior to the hand hitting the mat the third time. JP Sims outside the ring. Oh, and he slams the neck across against the rope, pardon me. And now JP Sims, perhaps, has taken control of this matchup again. What a back-and-forth affair this has been between two of the best here at ECPW. Oh, possible high-risk maneuver here. Was looking for a suplex outside the ring. Cross with a counter. Neither man able to establish strength here as they battle along the ropes. On either side is off the middle rope. Oh, Cross, don't know if he got everything he wanted, but he got enough to take out the legs of Sims, and that's going to be a not-so-pleasant landing on the concrete. Now Sims goes off the... Cross goes off the rope! Suicide dive! And JP Sims is feeling that one. Pretty much went over the top of his head with his stomach, did Jonathan Cross, throwing all caution to the wind. Those are the risks you need to take sometimes to win these big matches. Cross goes in, breaks the count. You know he wants to win by pinfall here tonight. There's no doubt about that. As looks like Cross is going to try to take Sims back into the ring. Rips him into the barricade, and that is a not-so-pleasant landing on the back for JP Sims, who's feeling the effects of this matchup, no doubt. Oh, what is he going to do here? Oh, that is not going to make for a pleasant experience for JP Sims. Against the rail he goes. And Cross, I'm not sure what he has in mind here. Bring out the ring steps. So it looks like a potential high-risk maneuver here. As Sims in a compromising position there on the railing. Cross has something in mind. Very curious as to what he's going to do here. Very innovative offense here from Jonathan Cross. Coming of age before our eyes in ECPW. Oh, uses the steps for momentum, but nobody home, and maybe gave Sims a little too much time. And Cross was looking for the maximum impact. That's why he set those steps up, thought that he could get a good leap. But in doing so, he ended up giving JP Sims a little bit more time to recover. And now both men find themselves down. Sims has made his way back into the ring. And I mentioned earlier about how Cross wanted a pinfall victory, but look at this. JP Sims is going to have no shame about taking a count-out win. He's basically begging for it. Emily Parker continues the count. Jonathan Cross in a world of hurt. Is he going to be able to get up to beat this count? Emily Parker, she wants to see this decided in the ring. The count continues, though. And oh, at the last second, getting into the ring is Jonathan Cross at the count of, 9.9, I think. And now JP Sims contesting that count. He's lucky that this match wasn't over before it started, the way he was dawdling outside the ring before we started this contest. Sims trying to reassert control, though, with Cross down. Lining him up in the center of the ring. Was looking for a stunner, but it's reversed. Down to the mat goes JP Sims. Cross has him center. Looks like he is lining JP Sims up. Sims in the middle of the ring. He doesn't know what's coming. Welcome to Crossroads. Oh, a kick to the head. Infall attempt perhaps. 1 and a 2. Oh, almost a 3, but JP Sims able to kick out. What an outstanding matchup we've seen here tonight. Jonathan Cross, J.P. Sims leaving it all on the line here at the New Waterford District Community Center for ECPW on Rogers. Cross perhaps wondering what he has to do to get a pinfall victory over the veteran J.P. Sims. In front of their inverted DDT. What is Lincoln Steen doing out here? He has no business being at ringside. Cross, he needs to stay focused. Lincoln Steen intervening. Oh, a duck. Cross knew what was going on all along. He ducked and Sims ends up hitting Steen. Could this be Crossroads? Yes, it is. Pinfall attempt 2 and a 3 count. Jonathan Cross gets the victory, but Lincoln Steen intervening in the aftermath. I'd love to know what this is about. This is an absolutely uncalled for attack and a real damper on what's a great moment for Jonathan Cross to finally get that big win over J.P. Sims. Lincoln Steen intervening, and he wasn't successful in affecting the outcome of this match, but certainly making a statement here after the match. As the beating continues, but this is a welcome sight. Cody Nieder coming down to the ring. Crowd chanting DDT. That could be the fate that meets Lincoln Steen later tonight. As Mr. DDT, Cody Nieder coming to the aid of Jonathan Cross, who had his guard up. I don't think he knew that was Cody Nieder in the ring, so he wanted to make sure he was ready to take on all comers, but he had somebody that was in his corner. The potential next ECPW heavyweight champion, in fact, Cody Nieder, who's asking for he's asking for a microphone. John Patterson will provide that.
First of all, let me announce the winner of this match, Jonathan Cross!
A very easy answer from these fans here in New Waterford. Not the one Lincoln Steen was looking for.
It sure says Steen rules. Do you think that Steen rules? Mr. Steen, I would like you right now to look at my t-shirt. Because my t-shirt, which is available on the merchandise channel for the Sunday edition.
Lots of fans buying those.
It's telling you, hey, you pay attention to me in this t-shirt because it's telling you your fate tonight in the main event for your belt. Here's what's going to happen. After I'm done selling my t-shirts and available on the merchandise channel, I'm going to come down to this ring, and in front of all these kids, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
A threat issued from Cody Nieder.
After I'm done punching you in the mouth, I'm going to roll you into this ring, and then I'm going to take that stupid curly haircut of yours, and I'm going to grab that dumb hair of yours, and I'm going to put your ugly pubic hair beard face on this arm. And then, with all the force in the world, I'm going to fall backwards, and your head's going to hit this mat, and I'm going to knock you out with my DDT.
Cody Nieder calling his shot. And you can hear the fans, they want to see it.
You gotta shut up! Alright, here, let's be quiet for just like 3 seconds. Now let's let Steve know how I'm gonna beat him.
Well, the certainly want to see the DDT. And Lincoln Steen has to beware. His title, I think, very much in jeopardy. Perhaps his biggest test yet. Impact Wrestling superstar Cody Deaner coming to ECPW. And he is going to have an opportunity to capture ECPW Heavyweight Championship gold from Lincoln Steen. You're watching ECPW on Rogers.